Most serial killers go to extraordinary lengths to hide their crimes. But in the late 1960s, one murderer decided to do the exact opposite. He wanted an audience. Between December 1968 and October 1969, a phantom stalked Northern California. He targeted couples in remote lovers' lanes and stabbed picnickers at Lake Berryessa before moving into the city streets of San Francisco. 5 people died, 2 survived. He carefully curated a public identity, adopting the name Zodiac and signing his letters with a specific crossed circle symbol to mark his work. To prove his connection to the crimes, he cut a blood-soaked piece of fabric from the shirt of his final victim, taxi driver Paul Stein, and mailed it directly to the newsroom of the San Francisco Chronicle. Despite a mounting trail of handwriting samples, detailed physical descriptions, and fingerprints, the man behind the attacks vanished completely. The investigation serves as a forensic audit, illustrating how a killer's pace exceeded the capabilities of 1960s science. The Zodiac forced his way onto the front page by mailing dozens of taunting letters to major Bay Area newsrooms, demanding they print his words or face more violence. Inside those letters were cryptograms, complex grids of symbols and letters. He was turning his murder spree into a public puzzle, daring citizens and police alike to find his identity. When a local schoolteacher and his wife cracked the first 3-part code, it delivered a terrifying glimpse into the killer's mind. The decoded message started with the phrase, "I like killing people because it is so much fun." Turning the search into a public game backfired for investigators. The widespread obsession generated thousands of false leads, forcing police to waste resources on dead-end tips. This flood of information overwhelmed local detectives and federal investigators at the FBI and CIA, who struggled to keep pace with the volume of mail and telephone reports. The Zodiac's relentless self-promotion acted as a smokescreen, burying verified evidence under public hysteria. Police possessed a significant amount of data. 2 victims survived their attacks to provide descriptions of the killer's face and voice, and eyewitnesses watched him wipe down a cab after his final murder. The terror intensified when the killer threatened to bomb a school bus and shoot children as they escaped. Armed officers had to ride along on daily routes as the entire region remained on high alert. Investigators aggressively collected every available physical marker. They compiled pages of distinct handwriting, ballistic reports from crime scenes, and partial fingerprints from a cab. In 1969, analyzing that data was a slow, manual process. Detectives relied on fine dusting powders and magnifying glasses to visually compare individual prints side by side. Modern investigators use connected databases to share all information instantly. In 1969, neighboring police departments operated in isolated information silos, meaning records in one county did not easily reach desks in the next. Without digital networks, a fingerprint pulled from a car door in one district could not cross county lines to verify a suspect being questioned in another city. Police gathered the fragments of the investigation, but without the infrastructure to process and share data, this physical record couldn't lead back to a name. The limits of 1960s forensic science became clear when investigators focused on a Vallejo resident named Arthur Lee Allen. Allen matched the physical profile provided by survivors and exhibited suspicious behavior. He even owned a brand of watch called Zodiac, which featured the same crossed circle logo the killer used to sign his letters. Detectives hit a forensic wall after searching his home. When they tested his handwriting and fingerprints against the evidence collected at the crime scenes, they found no matches. Suspicion alone cannot secure a conviction. The justice system requires a hard forensic match to tie a suspect to a weapon or a victim, and Allen didn't provide that link. Because the investigation strictly required definitive proof, the prime suspect died in 1992 without ever facing charges. The media circus the killer orchestrated forced a permanent shift in how law enforcement communicates with the public to prevent similar levels of hysteria. Today, investigators are turning to genetic genealogy. They are testing DNA traces left on the original stamps and envelopes in hopes of finally uncovering an identity. Despite the decades that have passed, the California Department of Justice and the San Francisco Police Department still classify the case as an active, ongoing investigation. While many letters sent over the years have been debunked as hoaxes, the core communications from the late 60s remain authentic and entirely unsolved. The Zodiac Killer exploited the hard limits of his era, using the media to transform himself into an immortal symbol while the man behind the cipher remained out of reach.